Speaks is the boy. First bite. Previously on Jay Speaks.
With most institutions, they deem affordable as, okay, what's this family's income? What is affordable for this family? We deem affordable as what is affordable for all families, no matter your social economic background. What's an affordable price that can reach everybody and everybody still be okay? I believe you looked into a study and it said that most people were paying 75% of their income for childcare. Or was it 65?
I don't remember the exact numbers.
Well, we just know it was way too much. Significant. Like it was significant. And it's like, where do you have money for anything else? And when we saw that, it just was like, we can't base this on people's income, because you could have, if we did it based on people's income, you'll have some people paying, $300 a week, but other people are paying $150, and it just doesn't seem fair. We want to meet people. We just want to be affordable to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's actually a definition for affordable childcare, and that's 7% of the household income. Mm-hmm. But then when you start to break that down, every household is different, right? Mm-hmm. How many working individuals are in that household? And then, then you're taking that portion and taking 7% of it, but that does not meet the criteria of what a lot of people have to pay to have childcare. And then when they are paying for childcare, it's very rigid, and this is where I'll lean into the flexibility, because of the space that we fill with being flexible. Mm-hmm. We're able to fill that childcare space in a much different way. For example, if a parent is in the process of getting that assistance through the state for their child to go into a childcare program, there's time in between that. Mm-hmm. And that time in between, that parent still has to, bring in an income. They're going through a big life transition, and we're able to help them make that transition. And what we don't recognize, and this is like in patterns in the childcare industry, is that parents go through transitions a lot. Parenting in itself is a huge transition, and we need to be able to support parents as they learn who they are in that role as parents, which means meeting them in that gap time, meeting them in their needs, not just when they finally have a source of income and they can afford to put their child into childcare. Like to find that source of income, sometimes you need just that person who comes in and is like, we want to love on your child. And in that transition time, there's already so much vulnerability. So imagine being in a vulnerable state, but knowing that your child is with someone that genuinely cares, not only about your child, but about your success, about you reaching your goals, and asking you and being comfortable having those conversations about where are you, where do you see yourself, and that's like, I see, especially like the way that Princess meets people, the way we see people, they're not just the parents that are dropping off their children. They very much are welcome to come and stay and talk with us. It's like, sometimes we have to find that balance.
We're like, okay,
we want to talk, but you can see, like,
we've got yogurt and hang out. You're like, okay, you're paying us for childcare. Go handle your business. But yeah, I just think, currently, I think society is kind of harsh, especially on, parenting and what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, that it's made people, afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to be honest, afraid to ask for exactly what they need. We have, so many moms that kind of beat around the bush and they say, well, is it okay if I bring them this time? Or what time do you need to drop your child off? And what time do you need? Like, one mom, she had a job interview, but she had to go get some clothes for the interview and then go on the interview. So she was afraid that she can only drop the child off to go on the interview. And she was like, yeah, because I was going to stop and get some clothes. I'm like, where do you have to get the clothes from? Where is it? Okay, this is the time you need. This is the time frame. And she was so thankful for that because, like I said, we're not only supporting the children, but we're supporting the parents. I don't believe you can work in childcare and only support the child, because if there's not a bridge between the parent and the child care provider that the child feels safe crossing either way, the only person that's going to suffer is the child. Like, we all have to be on one accord. If you do something at your home that's specific to your child, I want to do that in childcare. I want to do that when they're with me, just so they see a healthy balance of people, you know, following the same structure. So I just think we're at that point where, you know, we want to meet their needs just as much as you want to meet the children's needs. I think Wendy Hill Play cultivates that experience. Like, when you drop your kid off, like we always say, we want you to feel like you're dropping your child off at grandmom's house or auntie's house, where we're going to love on your child as much as we love our own, because that's the environment. We don't want to be like traditional childcare places where it's just checks and balances, you know, a fee for a service for a fee. We want to be so much more than that. And I think that's what Wendy Hill Play really is.
Introducing Wendy Hill Play, the nonprofit revolutionizing childcare.
I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of career aspirations, educational aspirations, or anything like that. Like, I would be a completely different person in a completely different place.
For me, personally, TRC has done a great job and reminding myself that I'm so much more than my circumstances, and that just because the system puts me in a box doesn't mean that I have to exist in that box.
We're bringing people that look like you, so even though things may be hard for you as a brown or a black person or a person of color, there are people that may look like you and they're doing the same things that you may want to do. Even when they've been boxed out, they're still pushing through them. So we're bringing in people that can really inspire them to do certain things, even if they never had the courage to do it.
Hello everyone. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who subscribe to Jay Speaks, thank you so much and welcome back. As you know, it is my mission, it is my passion to bring to you all conversation topics that are positive, motivational, educational, and informational. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to be here with Noel Hernandez, Janae Frank, and Zulema Cortez, and to introduce you all to the Resiliency Collaborative. The Resiliency Collaborative believes that youth of color and their families should not be disproportionately burdened by systematic inequities. The program works individually, collectively, and intergenerationally to redress this injustice, and believes that we all can live better when we have equitable opportunities to thrive together. The Resiliency Collaborative works with BIPOC youth and their ecosystems to strengthen their sense of belonging, identity, and purpose so that they can go and create a healthier, more equitable Wake County, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit back, relax, and most importantly, listen. And hopefully after today's episode, you will understand for yourself the importance of the Resiliency Collaborative and how they are striving to make a profound difference in the lives of BIPOC youth right here in Wake County, North Carolina. Noelle, Z, Janae, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
I'm doing all right.
Well, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here with all you guys. This is my first time, our first time interviewing youth, and to have it be a group of you all is all the merrier. But before we officially get started, I just want you to talk to me. If you want to look at the camera, who are you guys? Please give a brief background about yourselves, however much you want to share. And more importantly, how did you guys come to find out about the Resiliency Collaborative? Whoever wants to start.
I'll start. So, hi, my name is Janae Frank. I am a third-year student at North Carolina A&T State University. I'm also a college coordinator for TRC. What was the last question?
How did you come to find out about TRC?
I've known Jennifer since my high school years. I had did an internship with her before, so very cool mentor. Came back on when she came to TRC. It's been like that ever since.
Hi, thank you so much for holding space for us today. My name is Zulima Marin Cortez, and I found out about TRC from a friend that I met in middle school, and the mother of that friend happened to be Jennifer Castillo, which is executive director of the organization. And for my freshman year of high school, I started off in the organization as an intern, and I just continued out through the whole process, and I really fell in love with the work. A little bit about me, I was born in Mexico, and although I've lived in the U.S. for most of my life, and I'm really passionate about healing justice, and as an aspiring social worker, I just work to advocate for a more equitable and loving world.
Hi, my name is Noel Hernandez, junior. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a student at Wake Technical Community College studying human services and social work. And I found out about the Resiliency Collaborative through, again, Jennifer Castillo. I was friends with her daughter in middle school around 7th grade. And we ended up going to an internship at a different organization and then just moving on over to this one. So
awesome. So it seems like all of you guys were introduced to the Resiliency Collaborative through Jennifer. So how was that first interaction between her? How was that first conversation? Can you guys recall?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, please.
I think I was the last one. Yeah, I was the last one to meet Jennifer. I was probably 15, 16, but her name did not match her voice or her face. But when I first met everybody, it just seemed very easygoing. But after a while, I feel like it kind of turned into being family. But I always thought she was very nice, even though I don't think I met her until maybe we started the internship. But kind of view her as it's like my auntie. Low key, I need something, I can go to her. But I feel like the first meeting was great. She really cares, and she wanted to get to know me, so it made me open up more.
One thing I can say about Jennifer is that she's truly a ray of light. And one of the main things that I noticed in her at first was her servant leadership. And that's something that I really picked up on and really just tried to mimic in her. And she's a great mentor.
Kind of like our first interaction, it was a little less professional because we had met under the circumstances that I was friends with her daughter. So, we're just getting to know her at first, it was a little intimidating and everything, but she was, and still to this day, she was amazing, very kind, again, a ray of light. I look up to her, and I know whenever I need something, regardless of what it is, whether professional or not, I can rely on Jennifer, and yeah.
So how did your feelings towards the Resiliency Collaborative change or grow through that experience? Because you guys said that I think all of you started off as interns, and now I believe you two in particular are coordinators?
Yes, all three of us.
All three of you guys are coordinators. So how did that spark grow from oh wow, you seem like a pretty nice woman, Jennifer, this seems like a pretty nice program, to I want to be a leader in this organization? Can you recall, like, was it a moment within the program or maybe an internship? I don't know. I don't want to take away from your answer.
For me, it was weird for me because like when I first started, like I still remember because it was during COVID. I was the most shy, like outspoken person you could ever meet. Like understandably, public speaking was like my #1 greatest fear. Like I would shake at the thought of going in front of a crowd and just speak. They can attest to it as well. Like it was terrible. And like at first, like I wouldn't even really talk to the peers that were also in the internship program, but eventually, like slowly, I would get used to that. Then eventually, I did leave for a little bit, but like when I came back in January as a program coordinator, it was more kind of like a good push off the cliff because I got exposed to so many like new leadership related responsibilities and just kind of getting in the hang of it, and just it was a little stressful, I will say that, but eventually I saw the benefit of it all. And thankfully, I've been able to like grow into that position where I can go up in front of a crowd, speak with no issue. Like right now, the thought of this interview, I probably would have said no like immediately. I probably would not be here, but like I'm glad to be here. And again, it's just helped me grow in so many different areas. So
For me, in the beginning, I looked at it as an opportunity to learn more and grow and build myself up professionally, which it has served that purpose. But now I see it as something much bigger than just myself. And TRC has equipped me with a lot of skills and resources that I can use to go and give back and pour back into my community.
I had kind of started, I was on like the biomedical track at my high school, but I did need an internship, but it was COVID. I'm doing community service, so I kind of stumbled upon her through my dean of students at my high school. And honestly, I didn't think that much of it. I kind of just did it. I'm like, oh, it's paid. Like, let's get some money. Like, I'm 16. I'm broke. So I'm like, let's do it. I can help people out. I was already volunteering at the same school. But I think it wasn't really a specific moment. I think I kind of got, you already have it within you, kind of just helps you bring it out of you. That's what I view the internship as. Not saying I was a shy person. Honestly, I've always been a talker. I'm very social. But I think like she kind of brought that leadership out of me that I didn't really know I had. So then after a while, it's just routine. Like I want to learn. I want to help. I want to be involved, and then kind of just work my way up. But the Resiliency Collaborative is different from the former program that we were with. But I do think that although it's not the same, I do think that being at this organization has pushed me to be a way better leader than ever before. But yeah.
So in your answer in particular, you said, starting as an intern and worked your way up. And you guys are all coordinators. So can you please shed a little bit more light about that? Like what are the roles or the positions or the opportunities between intern and coordinator that you held, and you can just, speak on, what you learned, not necessarily from each. I know it's probably been some time, but, what did each position prior to being coordinator, how did it spark leadership growth or,
Okay. By the time I got to this program, pretty sure all of us, Noel, yeah, you already did your internship. So by the time we got here, we were already like peer mentors, like 2nd-year interns. But first there's an intern. So you'll come in, you'll do like a 7-8 week program. You're basically learning, and you're really just learning about the different areas of the wellness wheel that we follow and the other core principles that we follow, like as models. And then once you're done with that summer internship, you kind of upgrade or like graduate. Then if you come back during the school year, you'd be a change maker. Yeah, a change maker. That's more like project-based learning. We'll have like different aspects of community work that we'll do. And essentially you'll just do a project upon that. And you'll kind of just find your own lane and what you really like. And then if you stay another year, that's a changemaker champion. Essentially a peer mentor. So like last year, I was a changemaker champion before I got this position. So I would come back in and the kids are doing their own projects or they're having like a meeting or whatever. And I'll kind of just help them guide because I've already been through it. So I mean, it's not much for me to really, not saying that there's not much for me to learn, but kind of just assisting them and helping them grow. And then college coordinator or coordinator. Most of us are college students. whether that be like work study or you're on contract or you just want to just come in and help. But essentially that's more like programming, planning, leading the group activities during the week or the weekends in the summer. But yeah.
Yeah, and I ditto everything she said. When you come in as an intern, it's mostly people pouring into you. So you getting all the skills and resources that you need to be successful in your journey. And as you move up to changemaker and coordinator and all the other titles, it comes with more responsibilities. So not just everyone gets moved up. We look for students who are passionate and are committed to doing the work. So yeah, it's one thing we really look for.
And kind of just to continue going off of what she said, as an intern, it's people pouring into you, and as a coordinator, and like the higher up you go, it's you pouring into others and kind of like promoting and supporting their growth and leadership. So as an intern, I just remember, like, again, it was mostly just following what everybody else was doing. Yeah. And then I was a peer mentor, like, very briefly, but it was just, again, kind of like being closer to them in age and helping them out and supporting them with whatever they might need. But then as a coordinator, it's a lot of planning, executing, leading. So like any conversations or any presentations that we might do, we're like, I don't want to say at the front, but like we're having like guiding questions, we're asking follow-up, all this. And like if a student needs support, we'll be there to like provide that for them. And again, sometimes we'll go to like different events and like try to see what we can learn from there so we can bring back and implement our program to better support our youth.
So thank you, first of all, thank you guys for your explanations. So coordinator is the last position or last or final position?
Yeah.
So you guys are holding like, okay. So do you guys have aspirations to one day, hold Jennifer's position or be like Jennifer?
I know that I specifically do. I know after coordinator, it's a director and then executive director, which is what Jennifer holds. I know that that's specifically what I want to do. I'm going to transfer to either NC State or Shaw University, get my bachelor's in social work. I'm building up my 5 years experience now. And once I do all that, hopefully, whenever they deem necessary or fit for me to move up, I do hope to be executive director. So, yeah.
Well, I hope you definitely get that opportunity. I truly do.
Thank you.
Now, focusing a little bit more on TRC, I want to talk about the internship program. So TRC offers BIPOC youth an internship through their internship program. And I just want to talk about, a personal internship that you guys had that spoke to you, that you were very proud about, that the program provided for you to be able to have. What did you do? Who did you serve? What community did you help? And also, how did you grow from that emotionally, spiritually, physically? If you guys want to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, so back when I was a freshman in high school, I was a part of helping create a curriculum called Hope Seekers, which stands for Honoring Our Power and Emotions. And we partnered up with UNC School of Public Health to create this curriculum. And it's a peer-to-peer support program, and it's presented by teens for teens, and it covers various different topics, some of them being navigating our racialized world, life stressors and trauma, and many more topics. I started off by helping create the curriculum, so giving my opinions on what am I not seeing in my school regarding like mental health support and things that we need, and that the school wasn't providing, or in other at home or other spaces. And then I got trained to teach the lessons. So we partner up with therapists to help train us to teach these lessons to our other peers, because sometimes young people want to hear it from other young people. Usually our friends are our first line of defense. So it's important to know the skills that we need to support each other. And this has helped me grow in many ways, including my public speaking skills, and it has helped me process a lot of things in my personal life, and has equipped me to serve my peers better.
Wow.
My favorite one. It was so long ago, but I feel like I've always been I think out the box a lot, honestly. But I feel like it kind of sparked my love for creativity. I didn't really know I had it. It wasn't per se through TRC, but it was through Jennifer and one of her connections. WUNC Radio, they had came in and did, they were doing like podcasts, essentially with like little groups within our internship. But then I think maybe it was during the school year. I think I was about a junior or a senior by then. I went to Southeast Riley High School, so we were making PSAs for them. And we had like a recording booth at one of the elementary schools, and I made like a little rap. It was so random because really I had just wrote it the night before. It was about like safe sex, and I think we were gonna do some more, but pretty sure life just got really hectic after that. But wrote it, showed it to the coordinator that was over there. That was Kamaya Hewitt, I think. I don't remember her last name. But she was like, I love this. We have to record it. Found a beat, bought the beat, recorded it, showed it to whoever. Honestly, that was really fun. That was my favorite. I can't say that it was really like just so impactful, but like it was fun for me. We all did it together. We were able to go and meet people within the school. So yeah, it was great.
Could you repeat the question?
An internship opportunity that you had or received through TRC that you're proud about, that you learned from, and how you grew from it, or, I mean, you don't have to answer it directly. You can just reminisce about an internship.
Okay. I might say TRC or the previous organization that we served were the only internships I've had. So for me, it was just very impactful. And at the time of like initiating and starting, I was in a place of like, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So I was really just floating at that time. So kind of like the further along I like further committed myself and like started actually doing the work and caring about what we did, I actually started to realize like, hey, maybe I want to go to college. Hey, maybe I want to pursue social work. And it's just like, it really did have quite a large impact on me because, again, like I got to realize so much about what I want to do. I want to be for the people, helping others, specifically youth in the future. And kind of like, again, it introduced me to social work and then like realizing I can help others with this and just kind of how broad of a field social work is. Because like, again, if I don't end up like being here for too long, in terms of being with TRC, like I can use my social work degree to be a therapist, which is another thing that I want to do, and just realize all the things that I can do within that field. So,
okay, so therapists and social work is something that you're interested in. How about you? How about you guys?
I'm the same. I'm also an aspiring social worker, and I'm also interested in law school. So maybe attorney. I'm still deciding.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a nursing student. I'm a nursing student. It's been my passion since I was a kid, but grew up in South Raleigh, cared about my community, saw like the effects of COVID on the youth and stuff, and kind of just jumped into it. But I do want to get my own, either build my own or join one. But through the program or the prior program I was with, we kind of talked about health inequity. So I would want to start a nonprofit to help the Black and brown community, whether it be in my city or somewhere else. But yeah, not in social work though.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So what other internships are you guys looking forward to in the future? Are you guys already planning for that, or you guys have your mind set on an internship? Or
I think I would stay here for the most part, just because, not because I'm like familiar or anything, but I really do feel for the values and the mission of the organization. But if I were, it'd probably be something medical related or something in health, but probably like public health. I could rock with that, but either here or something like that down that line.
I did what Janae said, and I will add that the Hope Seekers curriculum that I told you about, we're working on getting it into schools because these things were not taught in school and they're important, and we go to other partner organizations and teach it to their youth, but right now we're seeing how to get it actually into the school system.
how has your success been so far with that?
I think when there's people, there's always going to be fights, for power. So it's been difficult. But I am remaining hopeful that we will be able to get it into the school system one day. Yep.
For me, specifically with like a college internship, I want to stay here, maybe pursue like a higher level of leadership that like contains more responsibilities that can probably like better fit me with the skill set necessary to be executive director someday. So yeah, something within here. I don't know if I want to just go somewhere else when my passion is here and just kind of waste my time elsewhere. So.
Well, another thing, I know that the Resiliency Collaborative offers academic supports to its students. Academic tutoring, coaching, post-secondary counseling. How have you guys benefited from that? Or if you guys haven't directly benefited from that, like how have you seen the benefit from that through the program?
I can say I haven't done it directly, but I may look to it with the upcoming semester. But I know that this past semester, like during the week, when we just moved into this building back at the end of March, I would help our academic director, Alexa, just like with any support necessary. She would have her either online or in-person students come in, and I would see, like, she does an amazing job of, like, it's not just all academic. Like, she genuinely cares for these kids in terms of their lives. She cares about everything that they do, and you can, like, it's very authentic and you can see it. But in terms of, like, the academic portion of it, like, I've heard from her, like milestones that the students reach eventually due to her helping them out and all this, and I think it's very amazing work.
Can you recall any of the milestones?
Yeah, I don't remember which student it was, but I think she was helping him or her, I don't remember. But she was helping them prepare for, like, I think it was a final exam not too long ago, and she eventually ended up hearing back about them, how well they did. And yeah, but that's just one. But I have seen recently, like, where she's helping a lot of them. And not only that, like, I see a lot of them come to her very stressed about, like, finals and everything, understandably, and she helps calm them down and, like, provide them with reassurance, like, hey, you're going to do great, you're going to rock this, and she helps them academically with all that.
You said her name is Alexa?
Yes.
Yeah, the first resource that comes to mind is therapy. As a person that doesn't have access to healthcare or any type of insurance, having access to therapy through a TRC has been a huge blessing to my life because it has helped me process a lot of things that I've gone through and which has made me become a better person, you know, serve the people around me in a better way and show up authentically. And yes, I love Alexa. She's our tutor. She's amazing. My younger sister goes to tutoring with her. And every time she comes back from tutoring, she's smiling, she's happy, she feels encouraged. And I think Alexa does an amazing job in building students' confidence. So that's one thing I really admire about her.
I haven't been able to use our tutoring services directly per se. I was already in college by the time we really got Alexa's program implemented. But I do know she's a math teacher. I hate math. But seeing her with her students, and they don't look stressed. They look pretty happy to be there, honestly. I think she makes it fun. Even when it comes to, she did, was that occupational? I think that was Occupational Wellness Week. And she had gone over a resume building a couple weeks ago and prioritizing like urgent and not urgent and things like that, time management. But I think she's helped them a lot. I've seen it personally during this school year, I think last year too. But just going over that because they're giving their feedback, hey, I want to learn more about time management. I want to learn more about A, B, and C. We can fit Alexa in there. She'll do a little presentation, get their feedback, and see what else they want to learn. But yeah, I think she's great at it. I couldn't use her at all. But I did take a chemistry class. She tried to find somebody for me. She couldn't, but still.
So Alexa is over the tutoring.
Yeah, she's the academic director. Yeah.
Does she have a team or is it just her?
I think in the building, as far as I've seen, it's just her. But I do know, like, she knows other educators that were willing to help me. But I think math is really her thing.
And it sounds like also soft skills?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's an amazing person. But we kind of just told her where we needed her. And she's an educator. She helped us. And I think they're pretty well educated now. So.
Well, Z, you took my next question right out of my mouth. But I want to ask Noelle and Janae. I mean, you can go into further explanation if you want. So it is to my understanding that the Resiliency Collaborative, one goal of the program is to offer a physical safe space for BIPOC youth to come in and have access to resources and support that they would not otherwise have in their hometown. You talked about mental health. I'm happy that TRC provided you with that, and you're benefiting from that because that is very important and crucial in today's day and age. But is there any other things that either you two can talk about that you did not have access to in your immediate hometown, in your immediate community, that you do have access and support from through TRC?
I don't think it was, well, it might have been interest. I can't really think of it at the top of my head, but I don't really think it was more so like providing, well, I don't know how to say it, but it was more so like a sense of exposure. And like working through our previous organization with Jennifer, she got me connected to my first job at the Y. And I still work there. I'm like, what, 3.5 years, going on 4 years now? So it got me connected to that. It got me connected to so many other people with like in terms of things that I want to do. So when I first brought up the idea of therapy, she was getting us connected to Aspire Counseling Group, which is one of our partners. Yeah, one of our partners. And she got me connected to them. At the time, I think I was doing like one of my final projects for a class last semester, and I got to interview with the person that owns that company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she just got me a lot of great opportunities to explore not only my passions, but things that we can do to better support our youth here.
I do want to add, as a first-generation student, my parents didn't go to college, so I didn't have any guidance on how to navigate the college process or FAFSA or anything like that. But with the help of community partners, TRC provides us with financial literacy lessons where we talk about credit cards, savings, debt.
Oh, wow.
Loans, all of those things, which has been really helpful. And yeah, how to navigate the whole applying to college, looking for scholarships, applying for scholarships, and everything that comes with that.
I do think the financial literacy portion, that was very strong for me because I'm basically a first generation college student. My parents are immigrants, but I think having the resources through the program and through Jennifer, I've been able to get so much exposure. Same thing as Noelle. She got me my first job at the Y. Like, that was my first real job. And I probably stayed there for, I think, a school year and a half. I think I went to college by then. But therapy was also something that really impacted me. But I had got that through TRC. I kind of had a bad reputation with therapists, or like a bad perception of them. Not that it was irrelevant or it was unneeded, but I don't think I really had that bond with a therapist that looked like me until talked to Timmy, saw who her therapists were, got a therapist. I've probably been with Ashley for maybe almost a year now, but from the first day, it's like we really just connected. Like, she'll call me out, she'll tell me everything I need to know, and I feel like having the opportunity to learn more about yourself, not through somebody else, but having them guide you to learn more about yourself is the greatest thing I could ever get. I think I'm in a way better place than I ever have been, to be honest.
Wow.
Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hi, my name is Alima, and I'm a community coordinator with the Resiliency Collaborative.
Hi, my name is Saja, and I'm a change maker at the Resiliency Collaborative.
What is Hope Seekers, and what is the goal of Hope Seekers? Hope Seekers is a mental health curriculum that is peer-led, so it's by teens for teens, and this curriculum was created in 2020 with a group of high schoolers, and it was one of them where we noticed a gap in our high school where we didn't have the mental health support that we needed. So we partnered up with UNC School of Public Health to create this curriculum.
Sajik, tell us a little bit about what you do in the community and how Hope Seekers has influenced you.
Basically, I go out into the community in Raleigh and I try to help other people. Like, for example, like I would go out to the YMCA and do food drives, or go to NC State and we would do activities and learn about strategies, like, for example, our strengths and weaknesses. And during Hope Seekers, it's like a peer mental health session. So we would learn about how to be more self-aware and to develop strategies to deal with what we face, in our life.
What have you learned from facilitating Hope Seekers?
So much. I think the main thing has been, it has deepened my knowledge regarding resilience and growth. It has helped me process a lot of things in my own personal life. It has equipped me with many skills, such as public speaking and strategic programming planning and things like that, as well as how to support my peers. Truly,
one thing I'm taking away from Hope Seekers was like the analogy that I learned with the peer-led session. If there was like a storm in the ocean, every person is on like an individual boat, and each person is on a different boat depending on what they experience in life. Every person on that boat would experience the waves from the storm differently. So I took away from that you have to just, when you meet somebody new, you shouldn't just like make assumptions about them. You should always like be aware and just validate them for who they are.
Progress, even if it's little, it's still progress, and mental health is not linear. With the support of others, you can get to a place where you have good mental health.
Time and effort. Mental health isn't something that you can just develop in one day and just be like, oh, so happy every day. Like it's something that like fluctuates. So definitely like it takes time and effort, and you learn something new about yourself every day.
So I'm trying to envision this. Please help me. So we have tutoring, we have financial literacy, we have mental health. Is there a curriculum? Like, what's the structure of TRC? Like, is it like Mondays financial literacy, Tuesdays? Like, I'm just being kind of facetious, but like, is it an open door policy? Like, you just come in and whatever you need, we'll set up an appointment. Could you explain like, I guess like the workflow or the structure? Is it like ask and you shall require, or ask and you shall receive?
Yeah, we do ask them like, what do you want to learn? But once again, we do have our core models. So like we have the dimensions of wellness. There's 8 of them, 8 weeks of the program, every week, new dimension.
Okay.
So let's say it's occupational. Was financial wellness a thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So financial wellness, we called Jasmine. She's an accountant. I think she works with like FAFSA and financial aid in Greensboro. So she's been coming back for maybe about the last 3 years. She'll talk about credit. She'll talk about college planning, FAFSA, all of that. And it's just really seeing what they want to see and finding the resources and getting them the information that they need. But prior years, it's been, I think, twice a week over the summer. This year, it was it's still twice a week. It was Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So they're here from 10 o'clock to 3. And basically, we might have a guest speaker in the morning, lunch, guest speaker in the afternoon. Then Wednesdays, those are usually like our community servant days. So I've been going to an ESL camp. It's through another church, but the program is called Neighbor to Neighbor. So I've been taking some of my kids who care about childcare or they're Spanish speakers, and we'll go and play with the kids, or we'll help coordinate their games. Like we might play bingo, we might just play tag, things like that. Just spending time with them and just building those bonds. Because honestly, I probably would have never thought about being there without the program. But really, it's all based around our core models.
Can you talk about that? So I guess there's 8 core models?
That's for the dimensions of wellness. There's 8 for that one.
Do you know the 8, and you can help her if she doesn't?
Social, occupational, financial, emotional. That's for spiritual.
Okay.
Relational. It's been a long summer. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember all of them, but dang, that made me feel really bad. I don't remember them at all. But I got 5 of them.
You got 5.
There's 3 other ones. They're all very important. Physical is one. That's 6.
So physical, spiritual, it has to be mental.
Physical, spiritual, mental, occupational,
emotional.
Financial.
Emotional.
Okay.
Sometimes the wheels are different.
So each week focuses on one of the wheel characteristics interwoven with community service.
Yeah. Then we use CASTLE, the CASTLE model.
CASTLE competencies?
CASTLE competencies, yes. That's more about So that's like social and emotional awareness, basically. And what else? It was like SAMHSA.
SAMHSA Wheel of Wellness. I think it's like the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association. I don't remember the exact acronym, but if you look it up, we do use that to reference a lot of the work that we do. Like I know, just to kind of go back of what you said, like each week is a different model. So like during physical wellness, my supervisor at the YMCA that I work at, his name is Darian, and he's a senior member engagement director. He came and talked to them about like planning and like holding each other accountable. Like if you say you're gonna do this in terms of your physical health, like have somebody like say like, hey, have you gone to the gym? Have you done this? Have you done that? Are you eating healthy? And again, for like financial literacy, we have Jasmine could speak to them about college, all this, and like financial aid, all of it. And then what else did we do? For environmental, which was what, just last week?
We're actually having another person.
Okay, scratch that. For I think that same physical week, we had a field day where we brought one of the, Jennifer's sister. She's a gym teacher over at Washington Elementary. She came in and we did like a field day where we played like a whole bunch of different games. I think one was like, we had like our ankle and like our wrist like tied to each other, and we tried to get from one point to the other and like a whole bunch of different stuff. But we try to get somebody who we know works in a professional field related to each aspect of wellness.
So which aspect of wellness have you guys grown from the most, would you say? Or have enjoyed the most?
I enjoy physical.
Physical, okay.
The field that he was talking about, I'm very competitive. It was a very heated day, but like it was really fun. I think I've also been impacted by the financial aspect. Jasmine's great. I couldn't wait to reach out to her this summer, like, you have to come back. Like, they have to hear this stuff. She's really helped us out a lot. She makes it fun. Like, once COVID hit and it's like, I'm still in school and now I'm in college, like, I really hate learning. Like, you have to do a lot to get me to sit down and really listen. But with Jasmine, she'll make it fun. She'll incorporate these fun activities within the learning. So I think that was great. Social. Who is social?
It's been a long summer.
It really has been a long summer. But just to say this, I do think that all of the 8 pieces to the wellness wheel are very important, because obviously you may be great emotionally, but you're not great physically, and that may take a toll on your social wellness, your financial wellness. Really, I think all of them affect each other. It's just one interwebbed pizza, essentially. So I can't really sit here and think of one specifically that was like, oh, this is it. But I think they've all impacted me well enough just to notice things. Even in my position in leadership, I still notice things I don't do well even now. Like, we had took a little questionnaire, and I realized I probably have very bad, what's the word? I don't deal with stress very well at all. Even though I'm here every single morning, like I'm up, I'm awake, I got all this energy, I crash every single day. But really, the kids are telling me, like, you probably need to take some time to yourself. Like, for a 16-year-old to tell me that I need to relax is crazy. But I heard it and I felt it. And then Jennifer gave me books, Noelle gave me books just to help me deal with it. But I think that all of them impact each other.
The one that has impacted me the most has definitely been emotional wellness, because I've just learned so much about myself and my emotional history and how stress shows up in my body and how I can like move through that. And again, having access to therapy for emotional wellness. This summer, we had a therapist come in and talk about stress and how it shows up in our bodies, and even like about generational trauma. And it's very good stuff to learn about, and it's helped me a lot learn and grow as an individual.
I was going to say physical at first, because I'm trying to get back into the habit of consistently working out, but kind of to go off of what Zalima said, I think it was just last week, we had a black male therapist whose name is Blaze come to speak to our, like, we separated the boys and the girls, and we had him come talk to our male students about like the stigma of male mental health. And that was something that really stuck with me, because that's not only something that I try to, like, every now and then, like, destigmatize among them, because I do see like the jokes and everything every now and then. So it was really good, and I thought it was very impactful to them, because I saw the effect that he had on them. Not only to have a male come into our space and like, let you know like it's okay to talk about your feelings, but also to have a male that looks like you is very important. So yeah, definitely emotional.
So you said something in your response, look like you. I want to just piggyback off of that. So how has the Resiliency Collaborative strengthened and assured you in being a person of color here in the United States? Or like how has it strengthened your belonging, identity, and purpose? You know?
I think for me personally, it's just been one specific way in the fact of like we are very intentional of like, say if we're doing like emotional week, like I just said, right? We try to get a therapist or somebody who looks like our students. So if the majority of our students are students of color, of course we're gonna go try to look for somebody of color as well. So I think that's very important in the sense of like we live in a place where the majority of people who are successful are portrayed by older white males, and I think it's very important to kind of like break that down and promote the sense of like you don't have to be white to be successful. Like I know in my mind that's just common sense, but like again, some people might not see that because of how much it's promoted. So y'all hear me? But I'm over it messing up, but yeah, it's just very important to have that aspect, and it helps a lot with like learning like, hey, I can do that if they can do it too, especially with our younger students.
For me personally, TRC has done a great job and reminding myself that I'm so much more than my circumstances, and that just because the system puts me in a box doesn't mean that I have to exist in that box, and that I too have so much to offer to this country. And it's a shame that not everyone understands this, but just by simply, and I don't say simply lightly, but simply loving my neighbor as I love myself, I'm contributing to making this world a more loving world.
You said identity, belonging, and purpose. And
how's it strengthened?
Yeah, I think the program that we're doing right now, we focus on racial inequity and equality. So it's really like even though you have been disenfranchised or you may get the shorter stick sometimes, we're bringing in people that look like you. So even though things may be hard for you as a brown or a black person or a person of color, there are people that may look like you and they're doing the same things that you may want to do. Even when they've been boxed out, they're still pushing through them. So we're bringing in people that can really inspire them to do certain things, even if they never had the courage to do it. We work with, Melvin's not with Racial Equity Institute.
No, not directly with them, but
yeah,
emotional work.
Melvin Jackson, that's my favorite old head. He comes in maybe every year. He'll come in the fall too, and he'll just sit here and explain even the history of our own city. It's a lot of things that I did not know growing up. I really didn't know much about Raleigh until he would tell us like, hey, this is the first black hospital. I was born here. It's not here now, but it was here. Even when we started our first program at the other internship, we had the head of the YMCA in South Raleigh. He took us around Raleigh. Like, this is the history of these parks. This is the history of this area. You would have never known this, but coming from a black man or a black female or a brown female or man, I think it makes a bigger impact than it ever could. Not saying a Caucasian person could have told me a whole lot of this stuff and I'd probably be like, you know what do you really know about this? But coming from somebody that looks like you, I feel like I'm more willing to accept the information that they're giving me. Not saying that I wouldn't, but I think knowing that for myself and then seeing the kids respond to it just makes it even more better. Like, you can really see the impact on them as a person. But TRC is giving this space to gain their sense of identity, strengthen their sense of belonging, and find their purpose. Whether it be you really love educational justice, but I really love health and equity. We both still have a common ground and we have learned the same things so that we can apply it to different areas of where the community needs help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great answer. So in your response in particular, you talked about how older black and brown individuals have made a huge impact on your life and how you receive it. How have you three in particular, strengthened a younger person's belonging, identity, or purpose so that they could feel more confident in their space in the United States of America? Take your time.
It's a good question.
It's good.
You got it? I do think I have an older brother. I just grew up with my brother. I've always been good with the boys, but I think throughout my older years of like high school and then going into young adulthood, I spent more time with children. And I think from working with younger kids, now I'm with high schoolers and everything in between, I have been able to gain these bonds with them and really pick their brain, because there's a lot of things that kids will not tell you. Like, you could probably have the best relationship with your parents or your family. There may be things that they are still kind of insecure about and aren't willing to say openly. So let's say y'all had y'all had Blaze come in and talk to them about that. They probably never would have had that conversation with Noel. Sometimes these kids are very unserious. They're goofballs. I love it. But they needed that serious space to understand, like, hey, it doesn't have to just be this black and white or the way that I think about it. You have to offer them a different perspective. So I think I've been able to help kids that look like me and kids that don't. I'm giving them that second perspective that they may not have thought of. And they're coming from public schools where everything is black and white. You're going to learn about everything that's in your, what's it called? Not Common Core, but you're learning about everything that's been set by the state to learn. You're not really getting a second voice or a second view or a different color in it. So I think being able to help them talk about their feelings and things like that, or just being able to see where they are and what they think about certain things, I've been able to push them in the direction like, hey, like, there's more to this than what you already know. And you're probably never going to stop learning, but you can at least open your eyes and see, like, there's a lot more to go than just what you've done.
So you're a bigger sibling to others. You're a bigger sibling to, you talked about you having an older brother and yours.
Yeah, essentially. I always wanted a younger sibling, but it's a couple of them. It's like, you really get on my nerves, but like, I just see you as a leader. And even with the boys, it's like, look, you're just a little kid to me. You're going to do little kid things. You're not a little kid. They're bigger than me. But still, like, you're a goofball, but people are going to look at you a different way that you may never ever like. People may look at me a specific way because I don't fit the box of what they expect me to look like, or I don't talk how they expect me to speak. But showing them like, hey, people are going to have this other identity of you that you may not have thought of, but not saying that you have to embrace that identity, but just learn to work around it and still be authentic to yourself. Yeah.
I start off as a friend and just offer them a non-judgment space. And I start off by sharing my lived experience with them, and not just the ups in my life, but also the mistakes that I've done and what I've learned from that. And I try my best to relate to them, like find similarities between us, whether that's things that we're interested in or things that we've experienced, and just find that middle ground where I can click with them, and just letting them know that they can persevere and they can achieve their dreams in spite of all of the barriers that they have, and connecting them with other good people. Sometimes I don't have the answers, but I will find someone else who does have the answers. And so, yeah, just helping them build their network and their support system.
I kind of try to go about it in the terms of providing like an emotional safe space. Like, I'm here for you. Like, things don't always have to be just work. Like, you can come to me with whatever it is, like good things or bad. Like, I'm going to provide as much support and assistance to like the best of my capacity. Like, again, kind of what she said, some things I may not be the best fit for, but I can again kind of go to, like, I understand that they're at a stage in life where they're not fully developed in terms of rational decision making. So I kind of try to say and like provide alternatives, like, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Or like, have you thought about what this could do to you, or like the effects it could have on you? So it's just kind of like providing that sense of like reassurance and like alternative thinking. So,
do you guys have a relationship with the students outside of TRC, or do you guys only talk to the students when you're in a program or in an event? Or like, what I'm trying to say is, like, do you offer like emotional or physical support to them outside of these walls, or is it more so like when we're here, I'm here for you. When I leave, I'll see you tomorrow? I mean, be honest. I mean, this is.
For me, I do offer support outside of TRC with boundaries. Because please don't call me at 2 a.m. But I text them, I check up on them. How are you? Thinking of you. Like, do you need anything? How was your first day of school? Things like that. And they know that they can always reach out, and they know that if I can't answer, I will say I can't answer, and I'll call them back later. Just things like that. I do offer support outside of TRC.
I won't say that I have some kids. I'm not really a social media person. You can hit me up, you can DM me, you can call me, hey, I really need to talk to you about something. I'm going to hear you. But you're going to get very big sister advice. Don't tell me anything. Not saying don't tell me anything dumb, but if you're asking me, should you do something reckless? Probably not. But when we're here, it's like, all right, cool. We can be friends or whatever, but right now we're all working. But let's say we're going to get food, or we're traveling somewhere and you want to joke around like I'm your best friend right now for the next 2 hours until we get to where we have to be. Then we have to lock in again. But I think it's just teaching them boundaries and a time and place of where you can show that relationship, but definitely open to speaking to them. But sometimes they don't really be wanting anything, to be honest. They just want to talk and mess with me and get on my nerves. But yeah, I do have the relationship with them.
I try to tell them, like, hey, if you ever do need anything, like, reach out to me outside of here. Like, again, don't come to me asking about nothing crazy. Like, I have my boundaries. Like, again, like, when they leave this space and they go home, they have things to worry about, whether it's their friendships, school drama, anything like that. I have my own life, too. So it's like, I don't want it to be 24/7 surrounded and around you. Like, okay, that does sound bad, but, like, I mean, like... Like, just understand that I have another job outside of this. I'm still in college. Like, I have a family, like, to help out and do as much as I can to support them. And I have friends and a social life, surprisingly. So it's like, just understand that. Like, just try to understand that. Like, you text me, like, hey, I'm just going through it right now. Or, hey, I have a question for next week, or just whatever the case may be. Like, just text me, and I will do the best I can with the time that I have. So, yeah.
Okay. My next question. The Resiliency Collaborative, they have a value embedded in the acronym CAUSE. Could one of you or all of you break down that acronym? And more specifically, how have you all grown from each segment of that acronym? I mean, it doesn't have to be every single one, but you can say, hey, I grew from whatever C is in this way, or U in this way.
So, CAUSE, curiosity, authenticity, Ubuntu. S is it's actually not up here. S is, does anybody know? Social what? You think? Give me 5 seconds. Because now I'm gonna pull it up because I was thinking about it earlier. Okay, curiosity and creativity, authenticity and transformational healing, Ubuntu and shared leadership, and equity. That's CAUSE. Should I break it down, or y'all want to break it down? All right. Curiosity and creativity, giving them an open space. Like, sometimes you're in school, can't really say things like you want to. We're giving you a space to be you. So I would hope that you're being yourself, and if you have this idea, nobody's going to think it's a bad idea. They probably just haven't thought of it yet. So getting things off your mind, allowing you to be the best you, authenticity and transformational healing, being yourself. You don't have to put on a front. I'm going to be my complete and authentic self every second of the day, to be honest, and giving you that space to transform into a better person. And not saying your best self, because I mean, they're still growing, but a better you, for at least, whether that be like for the year or for the day or for the month, like giving you that space to help you grow and the tools that you need. Ubuntu and shared leadership. Ubuntu it means I am because we are. Yeah. So essentially, sometimes it depends on what context. I use it as a context, as in the people around you affect you more, but at the same time, we all have that impact on each other. So it's more family engaged, I guess. But as a group, we all build each other up and we can also tear each other down. So really, it's more of a phrase I use to let them know, like, the people around you, whether y'all be friends, family, whatever it is, this is your team. And I kind of push them to act as one. Like, you have this one idea, but your other group mate doesn't think that, so y'all need to go ahead so we can all be on one accord, because that's really the only way we're going to get approval. And shared leadership kind of just explain that. And then equity, giving everybody the same footing rather than equality. Yeah. No? Oh, off the ground.
I mean, she did kind of like go through and break everything down in terms of explaining it.
Thank you, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I can say that like authenticity and Ubuntu are like two things I try to instill, whether it's here or anywhere. Like I am, because we are. I've always, up until like TRC, I've always been a very independent. Like, I can do this on my own. I don't need the support of other people. But like through the mindset of Ubuntu, I've been able to break out of that and kind of accept like, hey, I can't do this alone. I might need your support. I might need you to do this for me. Or how can I help you? It's not just about how they can help me, but like, you know, kind of getting that. And authenticity is like, I try my best to be myself. I understand like it might be a time and place and or how you do it, but just kind of like remaining true to who I am regardless of the circumstances.
I think the way that I've grown with curiosity has been approaching everything with curiosity instead of assumptions. And we're actually doing a book club with the students called What Happened to You? And it's by Oprah and Dr. Perry. I think he's a psychologist. And the book is about trauma and everything that comes with that. And one of the questions in the book says, we need to change instead of saying what's wrong with you to what happened to you. And that changes the perception from judgment to open-mindedness. And even with myself, I think I used to be really hard on myself, like, oh, I can't believe I did that, or what's wrong with me, you know? But when I started approaching it with curiosity and asking, wait, okay, I did that, but why did I do that? You know, like, what's the root of that? It changes everything.
Do you journal?
Yes.
Did TRC bring about journaling, or did you journal before TRC?
I journaled before. It actually started off as poetry, and then I became into more mindfulness journaling. Yeah.
Nice.
I think I grew in transformational healing. I was a completely different person. My personality is still the same. I don't take anything serious most of the time. But like before, I don't know, maybe I was just going through that tough time, but I was a dumb kid. Not gonna lie. I made the dumbest decisions.
Yep.
But I can't really blame it all on Jennifer and say that she's the sole reason. But I mean, it does take a village. But I think she's really pushed me and gave me the resources and the people around me that truly care for me as even outside of a student, as an intern, just as a person. So I like to say that I'm a way better adult. Not really an adult, but I'm a way better adult than I could ever be, honestly. But yeah, I think that's my favorite value.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So my next question, so the E, equity. How have each of you how do I say this? How have you advocated for or successfully made equitable change in your respective communities?
I can't say that I've gone to the extent of solely being the purpose that I've caused change in my community, but I can say that I've been a part of things like the Southeast Raleigh Y and Rock Quarry Road. They have food distribution. The Southeast Raleigh Y.
Southeast Raleigh Y?
YMCA.
YMCA.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a tongue twister a little bit. Okay.
On Rock Quarry Road, they hold a food distribution. It's just kind of like to address the food desert in Southeast Raleigh. And I used to like, every now and then, I think we still do sometimes. Used to go out there and just like, because I'm bilingual, I would just go up there and help with check-in, like, hey, how many people in the home, like, what's your zip code, and just like helping them gather data. I would do that, or like helping load the boxes of fresh produce or canned goods into their car and everything, and yeah.
I too have been a part of what Noah just explained. And with the YMCA, they also have an elementary school. So I used to go and help the ESL students, and I would work with the Spanish-speaking students. And I would see a lot of myself in them. You know, they were just afraid, not knowing the language, this new country. So I could just really relate to them and, you know, help them, you know, learn the language or whatever they needed help in. And I also, my approach is one person at a time. And I think little change is still change, you know what I mean? So yeah, just taking everything that I've learned here and pouring it back into my community. You know, I talk with my younger sister, she's 10, a lot about mental health and how what she sees at home, like she can change that. You know, she can learn new ways of adapting and relating. And she doesn't have to stay in the helplessness that she learned at home, you know, that things can be different. So yeah, just one person at a time, you know, just planting seeds and, you know, God will do the rest.
I also did the food distribution that Noel was talking about. Being at the Southeast Raleigh YMCA, it's given me a lot of, when I worked after school, they had a program called Club Roar, and essentially parents would sign their kids up to stay after school. And basically, let's say they need help with homework or they're in second grade and they're still going over this topic during their normal school hours, I would essentially guide them through their classes, help them with homework, things like that, talk to them, be that space that they need, because they don't really get that. I know a lot of kids don't really get that when they go home. It might just be you're going to eat and go to sleep if you even do get those opportunities. So I think that really helped me. And I think it's the sweetest thing when you don't see a kid for a very long time. They're like, oh my God, Miss Janae, I want you to be my mommy. Like, had me bawling my eyes out. But just building those connections and those bonds. I had also had a chance to work with Advanced Community Health through Jennifer. Basically, it's more of like it's like a smaller health building. What do you even call it?
It's a clinic.
Clinic, that's the word. But yeah, I got a chance to work with them in recruiting. Essentially, they're centered in the Southeast Raleigh area, so they have opportunities for Black and brown people of color to go ahead and get the things that they need. Medication is expensive. Sometimes you may not have the opportunity or the means to go get a ride to the hospital or go to your doctor's appointments. If this is in a BIPOC community, obviously you're going to have more BIPOC people, so they have the opportunity to go in and get the help that they need. So yeah, dealing with health equity.
Interesting. And is there any, I guess, future plans or desires that you guys are focusing on or want to be involved in with regards to equity?
I said I wanted to get my own nonprofit. I think the advanced model is something like, it is close to home. Well, it literally is close to home. It's close. It's down the street from my house. But I pass it all the time, and it's like, dang, I know the people there, and they're really making a difference. It's people out here that didn't get the help that they need. When I was a kid, I did not have health insurance. Like, my mom was a single parent, so growing up, and it's like, I'm not going to the doctor. My mom was a nurse, so it's like, if I get sick, she got everything at home. I'm going to be fine. But what if she wasn't? What if my mom didn't know anything about that? What if I was just a very sickly child and she would have been paying 3 times, 4 times as much without insurance just because she couldn't afford it for me and my brother. So seeing that they're doing that work, I want to do something like that. Not necessarily their same model, but at least giving them the opportunity to meet people who do, or maybe I'll get like a private practice and maybe offer like pro bono services to those underprivileged. But yeah.
I think for me, going into social work is what I want to do in the future, and equity is a huge part of that. And right now, the career is mostly white women. So I think going into that field as a person of color and as a person with lived experience, that in itself is, really impactful. So yeah, just trying to get into the system so I can create change within the systems.
You suck, because she took the words right out of my mouth. And going into social work as a Hispanic male and just male social workers kind of being like the unicorns of social work, as I've heard quite often, and just kind of like going there with the intent of like offering support to my community, and not just my community as a Hispanic, but my community as a male, and kind of just like promoting the idea of like men can be social workers too. Like, yeah.
Well, thank you for your responses. My last and final question for today. I understand that I think it was a week and a half ago, there was some type of conference, youth conference in Orlando, Florida. I know that you two attended as chaperones. Yes. You were not there, but still, please take this opportunity, because being a chaperone versus actually being a youth at the conference is definitely a different feel. Talk about the Resiliency Collaborative and the conference opportunities that they provide. Can you recall a conference that you attended that you've learned something that you still carry today that sparked some type of growth within you? I know that you in particular, congratulations, but you actually presented at a couple of conferences, to my understanding. So please talk about that as well. But yeah, if you don't have to talk about this more recent conference, but a conference that you benefited from when you were a youth or younger.
I think that I like, apart from being a chaperone there, they had like a track for college students. Janae and I were a part of it, and originally they had offered a Live to Give project for the students, where they would choose like a project in the community, and they would propose it to the people there, and they would get like a first place and second place prize, with the first one being $700 and the second one being $500 in order to fund that. And eventually, like halfway through the week, we found out that college students could do it as well. So I was very interested in being able to like take part in that. And what I took more so from it was that my brother, he's a part of the internship as well, my younger brother, and he went to the conference, and I saw it like kind of push him out of his comfort zone, not only due to the program and what they talked about, but the fact that his fellow interns and friends were there to help him and support him, and just like, hey, let's go do this together. And I saw him doing things I would never like expect him to do, because like he's one of the most like introverted people I know. Love my brother to death, but he's very quiet sometimes. And it's just like seeing him like volunteer to go up on a stage, or like volunteer to take part in like a competitive activity in front of like the whole 150 students that were there. But yeah, I loved it.
Jordan is really not a social butterfly. But I did speak to him. He's like, I'm going to go out of my way to speak to 3 people today. I've already done 1. I have 2 more. Like,
hey, he's trying.
Who put you up to this? But then the whole time they're pushing each other like, hey, Jordan, I know you don't speak. You need to go and meet somebody. Even if it's forcing you, it's still helping you. I think that we went to the Ultimate Life Summit. It was under the Magic Wand Foundation. I think they sponsored it. But I think it was great. Basically, the creator, it's like 3 authors, but the man who was leading it, Scott Schickler, he really went through the 7 mindsets, which are mindsets that him and the co-authors created just to help the kids. I think it was like looking at the most successful people and the top 7 mindsets that they have that encourage them to be even more successful and push them to step out of those boundaries. But I think it was great as a chaperone, even though I couldn't really, I think it's for younger kids, but it was great to see the kids engage in it. Like the things that they talked about are things I had to teach myself. It would have been great if I could have just went to Florida for a week and been like, you know what, I have the key to life right now. But no, it's things I had to be forced to learn, or lessons I had to be taught that I had to keep reiterating to myself. But I think that was great. I can't say I learned the most and I got the most knowledge out of it, but I did meet very resourceful people. The lady who was over the college group, she really just pushed for us. And even though I barely knew her, it was more like you're going to do great in life. Like if you need something, I got you. She's giving us life advice, even past the workshop topics and things like that. But in all honesty, I think it was great. And seeing the kids grow or express themselves, or they're talking about building your dreams and what you need to be successful, and keeping the people that that actually want to grow with you around you, seeing them work that out through their own brains and then come back and it's like, all right, cool, what did you learn? And you can tell me all the stuff that you learned and what was fun and what you didn't like. I think that just made the most of it.
Yeah, I can't speak for Florida since I wasn't there, but I have been a part of 2 roundtables at APHA, which stands for American Public Health Association, and they have annual presentations, meet conferences. And the first time I went to was in 2022 with my group of colleagues. And at that time, I was around 17. And my colleagues were either my age or younger. I think the youngest one was either 14 or 15. And this is a national conference. And the audience that it's aimed to is professionals who are already way, like, years into their careers. And here we are, not even started in our careers, and we're presenting at this national conference. It was truly life-changing experience. That exposure, I think it changed my way of thinking in a lot of ways. I remember being there, and the place was huge, and I felt a lot of pressure, but it was good pressure. And yeah, like after our conversation and presenting, which it went really quick, I wasn't expecting that. But we got a really large amount of good feedback from the adults who were listening. And the second time we went, the first time that was in Boston, and we took the Amtrak there. It was an interesting ride, but that's another story. And the second time we went last year, it was in Atlanta, Georgia. And I think this time it was a smoother experience because we already had insight from the last time. And yeah, we also got a lot of good feedback after our presentation from the adults. One thing I noticed and that we heard was that the other youth roundtables, there was teenagers there, but there was also adults at their table that were doing most of the speaking when it's actually a youth roundtable. And we were the only ones who, it was just teens, and we were the ones presenting and engaging with adults. And people noticed that. And after our presentation, there was doctors and professors and deans of schools, and they were giving us their cards and their information and telling us to reach out because they were really impressed. So all of that, practice and support really paid off.
So would you guys see yourself attending these types of conferences if you weren't in TRC?
No, because there's a lot of barriers, and TRC helped remove all of those, whether it was the cost or transportation or even the politics behind it. I couldn't see myself there.
I think people are going to notice you if you're the change that they want to see, or they see that you're trying. So I probably wouldn't have been able to even have these opportunities if it was 5 years ago and I'm just in college or I'm in high school. But I think because of the work that we've done, and they see our programs and they see our faces and they see the work that we're at least trying to do if we haven't done it already, and the things that we're planning to do, and these dreams and all this, and the kids, and people really care. So I think if they want to see something change, you're trying to help create that, or you're already creating it, they're going to go ahead and support your cause. So I do think that TRC has removed those barriers. But yeah, it was a great experience.
I want to add something. I think all the 3 of us can relate to this, is that we are here because someone believed in us, and that was Jennifer Castillo. And we need more people like her in these positions, people who are not corruptible, and people who are truly, I'm going to cry, who are truly for the people, and she recognizes that we are the experts of our own experiences, and she sees us as complete and capable beings, and that's what has helped us be where we are now.
Again, I would say no, because without this program, I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of career aspirations, educational aspirations, or anything like that. Like, I would be a completely different person in a completely different place. So I would not see myself single-handedly seeking out opportunities to do things like this. Again, not only because of barriers, but because of, like, the lack of interest that I probably would have if it wasn't for the experience that I've had here with TRC.
Wow. So we'll end on that note. Janae, Zulema, Noel, it was truly a pleasure meeting all of you guys and talking to you guys, learning about your backgrounds, your leadership opportunities, your experiences, and more importantly, your growth. Is there any lasting comments that you want to say to me, to the camera, before we cut this episode off?
Just thank you for holding space for us.
Yeah, thank you. Of course. Well, thank you guys, and I wish you all the best in your career endeavors, in your life trajectories, and in your, everything. Not just career and life, I mean, how you impact the world. I mean that in every sense of the word, and I hope to see you in the newspaper or see you on TV someday. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We've made it to the end of today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about Janae, Noel, and Z, and how the Resiliency Collaborative is trying to strengthen the identity, belonging, and purpose within their students. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next episode.